Have you ever considered that a very private habit could be silently creating an unexpected cost to your long term health? For many men, a habit of masturbation has always felt like a simple, private part of life, something so natural that it never needed to be questioned. But as our bodies change and age, what once seemed harmless can begin to carry consequences that we never expected. Doctors and health experts have discovered surprising connections between this intimate act and an aging man's well being. And many men only discover these truths when the effects have already begun to take a toll. In this video, we are going to talk about 6 intimate secrets of this habit that most men wish they had discovered earlier in life. These are not myths or casual guesses. They are insights drawn from medical findings and observations in aging men. By the end of our conversation, you will know what truly happens behind closed doors, why it matters so much to your health, and what you can do to protect yourself, ensuring you stay strong, confident, and independent as you age. Please stay with me until the end because some of these insights may seem small, but they could make a monumental difference in your energy, your relationships, and even your dignity as you grow older. Once you understand these 6 secrets, you will have a clear idea of what changes you might need to make and how to keep your private life working for your health instead of against it. My name is Allie, and welcome to the Silver and Smart channel. Here, we believe that the latter half of life is a time of incredible wisdom and purpose. If you find our conversation valuable today, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. It's a simple way to make sure you never miss another video designed to help you live your best life. The 6 secrets of an intimate habit. Navigating the private life of an older man. 1. The overlooked impact on prostate health. One of the most profound and overlooked secrets about masturbation for older men is its direct connection to the health of the prostate. Many men simply assume that as long as they stay sexually active in some way, their prostate will remain healthy and problem-free. But the reality is far more nuanced. While many studies have indicated that a moderate level of sexual release can help flush out fluids and may even lower the risk of certain health issues, habits that are excessive or poorly timed can lead to irritation and chronic inflammation of this delicate gland. Consider 2 men, both in their early 70s. Dominic, 72, maintained a balanced routine, ensuring his sexual activity was well spaced and that he listened to the signals his body was sending him. He rarely experienced discomfort when urinating, and his annual checkups remained consistent and reassuring. Calvin, on the other hand, at 74, felt that frequent self-release was harmless and something he could do without consequence. But as the years went on, he began to notice a quiet but persistent pelvic pressure, a subtle burning sensation during urination, and more frequent restless trips to the bathroom during the night. While Dominic's mindful approach kept his prostate functioning smoothly, Calvin's habits may have unknowingly contributed to irritation and chronic inflammation that left him more vulnerable to common health issues. The prostate is not just another organ in the body. It is a critical part of a man's anatomy, closely tied to urinary flow, reproductive health, and overall comfort in daily life. When it becomes inflamed, the problems can ripple out into your energy levels, your sleep quality, and your sense of dignity as you age. The encouraging news is that balance and awareness can make an enormous difference. By choosing moderation, scheduling regular checkups, and being alert to any small changes in your urinary habits, you can take an active role in protecting this vital gland. If you have noticed any discomfort, changes in your flow, or new pressure in the pelvic area, it may be your body's way of asking you to slow down or adjust your routine. Taking care of your prostate is not just about avoiding disease. It's about holding on to your freedom, your comfort, and your dignity as you age. 2. Circulation and erectile function, the river of vitality. Another truth that often remains hidden is how an intimate habit can influence the blood vessels that support both sexual health and overall circulation. Erections are not simply about desire. They are a direct and undeniable sign of how well blood flows through your body. In our younger years, most of us hardly give this a second thought. But after the age of 60, our blood vessels naturally lose some of their elasticity. Overstimulation, without proper recovery, can put an unnecessary strain on them, making them work harder than they should. Let's think about two men in their late 60s, Graham and Lionel. Graham, 68, practiced moderation, staying active with light exercise and keeping his intimate habits in a healthy balance. His circulation remained steady, and he noticed that he could still maintain a quiet strength and confidence in his intimate life. Lionel, however, at 70, ignored the quiet warning signs. He often relied on a quick release and neglected his physical health. Rarely exercising or eating well, over time his erections weakened, his stamina faded, and he grew increasingly frustrated and confused, not knowing why this was happening to him. Doctors often explain that circulation is like a river. When it flows strong, every part of your body benefits. But when it slows down or becomes clogged, the problems spread everywhere. Poor circulation, which can be linked to overstimulation, can reduce sensitivity, increase fatigue, and even heighten the risk of cardiovascular problems. The beautiful part is that men can take charge of this by paying attention to the frequency of their habits, giving their body proper recovery time, and actively supporting blood flow with gentle walking, stretching, or light strength exercises. If you notice that your response feels weaker than it once did, or that arousal comes, but performance falls short, it may be a gentle signal that your circulation is under strain. Taking care of your blood flow is not just about sexual function. It is about protecting your heart, your confidence, and your overall quality of life. 3. Hormonal balance and energy, the inner rhythm. What many older men don't realize is that a masturbation habit can affect the body's hormonal rhythms in subtle but powerful ways. Testosterone, the hormone that fuels our energy, motivation, and even our mood, behaves differently as we age. In moderation, sexual release can help regulate tension and maintain a healthy balance. But when it becomes too frequent, or when it is driven by habit rather than a genuine need, it can drain your body's reserves instead of replenishing them. Take two men as an example, Russell and Simon. Russell, 66, was keenly aware of his energy levels and noticed that when he allowed his body ample time to recover, he felt stronger, more alert, and more optimistic about the day. He approached his private time with awareness, making sure it did not leave him feeling drained and exhausted. Simon, on the other hand, treated his old habits the same way he did in his 30s, never thinking about the toll it might take. He found himself increasingly tired, less motivated to stay active, and sometimes even slipping into low moods without knowing why. Doctors often say that hormonal health is not about avoiding activity altogether, but about aligning with your body's new, slower rhythm as you grow older. Overuse can subtly upset testosterone levels, which in turn affects sleep, muscle strength, and emotional stability. The encouraging news is that awareness and a few small adjustments can restore this crucial balance. By spacing out your activity, staying physically active, and nourishing your body with good food and proper rest, you can keep your energy steady and your mood stable. If you notice that after a private release, you feel drained,
sluggish, or less enthusiastic about the day, it may be a sign that your hormones are asking for a change. Protecting your hormonal balance is not just about strength in the bedroom. It is about protecting vitality, purpose, and the drive to keep living a full life well into your later years.
4. Sleep and nervous system recovery. The quiet restoration. Sleep is one of the body's greatest healers, and how older men handle their private habits can quietly shape how deeply they rest. When we are younger, our nervous system bounces back quickly from stimulation. But past the age of 60, the balance between stimulation and recovery becomes far more delicate. While some men find that masturbation close to bedtime relaxes them, others experience the opposite effect, a restless tossing and turning, shallow sleep, or frequent waking throughout the night. Imagine two men, Theodore, 71, and Howard, 73. Theodore learned to respect his sleep, finishing his meals early, winding down with a good book, and keeping his private activity in moderation. He usually enjoyed 7 hours of solid, refreshing rest that left him feeling energized for the day ahead. Howard, however, often turned to late-night release as a way to deal with boredom or restlessness. At first, it seemed harmless, but over the years, he began to notice that he woke up more often during the night, felt groggy in the morning, and struggled to focus during the day. Medical professionals point out that deep sleep is a period when your brain clears toxins, your heart rate stabilizes, and your muscles repair themselves. When poor timing or overuse disrupts this rhythm, your body loses its chance to restore energy, which can accelerate fatigue and even raise the risk of memory decline. The encouraging part is that adjustments are always possible. Creating a steady bedtime routine, keeping private activity earlier in the evening, and supporting your sleep with other calming habits can make a remarkable difference. If you find yourself waking up often, feeling tired despite spending hours in bed, or noticing that your nights are less restful, it may be worth considering how your habits are affecting your nervous system. Protecting your sleep is not just about rest. It is about keeping your body strong, your mind sharp, and your independence intact. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment "wisdom" below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. 5. Emotional well-being and intimacy gaps. The need for connection. Beyond the physical effects, an intimate habit can also quietly shape the emotional lives of older men in ways they rarely expect. In our later decades, many of us face shifts in companionship, changes in family roles, or the profound loss of a partner. How we handle our intimacy can either bridge those gaps or inadvertently widen them. For some, private release provides comfort and relief. But for others, it can become a substitute for genuine closeness, leaving behind a quiet sense of loneliness or even guilt.
Picture two men, William, 78, and Vincent, 80. William valued both his private time and his relationships. He made a conscious effort to stay engaged socially, maintained open and honest conversations with his partner, and treated intimacy as a shared bond. Vincent, on the other hand, began to withdraw more and more, leaning on solitary habits while neglecting to reach out or maintain emotional connections. Over time, Vincent began to feel isolated, less confident, and sometimes even ashamed of his choices, not realizing that his habits had become a barrier to genuine closeness. Psychologists remind us that true intimacy is not just about the body, it is about connection, affirmation and feeling seen and valued. When solitary habits begin to replace these core human needs, men can find themselves slipping into patterns of secrecy, regret, or self-criticism. The hopeful truth is that this does not have to be the case. Older men can restore balance by actively nurturing friendships, communicating openly with loved ones, and remembering that intimacy is broader than any single act. If you notice yourself avoiding closeness, feeling secretive, or missing the joyous companionship, it may be time to take small steps back toward connection. Protecting your emotional well-being at this stage of life is not only about personal comfort, but also about dignity, self-respect, and leaving space for love and laughter.
6. Pelvic floor and muscle strength, the foundation of independence. One of the least discussed but most important secrets is how an intimate habit can affect the pelvic floor muscles, the very foundation of bladder control and core stability. As men grow older, these muscles naturally weaken, which can lead to frustrating issues like leaks, a reduced sense of control, and even difficulties with mobility. What many do not realize is that excessive or careless habits can strain these muscles even further, while intentional strengthening can actively protect them. Consider two men, Albert, 67, and James, 71. Albert became aware of his pelvic health early on, practicing simple exercises like controlled breathing, light core work, and mindful release. He noticed that he could walk longer distances without discomfort, and he rarely experienced any issues with bladder control. James, however, never gave it much thought. Over time, his habits left his pelvic area fatigued, and he began noticing sudden urges, small leaks, and a feeling of instability when standing up quickly. Doctors and physical therapists emphasize that the pelvic floor acts like a hammock, supporting vital organs and allowing for confidence in our everyday movements. When this area weakens, it doesn't just affect private moments, it impacts our independence, our balance, and our self-esteem. The positive side is that men can actively rebuild this strength. Simple Kegel exercises, gentle squats, and staying physically active can all support pelvic resistance. Paying attention to how often and how intensely you engage these muscles during private activity can also make a big difference. If you find yourself feeling weaker in your lower body, noticing a loss of control, or struggling with sudden urges, it may be time to take more care of your pelvic foundation. Protecting this core area means preserving your ability to move freely, stay independent, and maintain your dignity in the years ahead. Now that you know these 6 intimate secrets, take a moment to reflect honestly on where you stand. Have your private habits supported your health, or have they been quietly working against your energy, your rest, and your confidence? The important thing to remember is that none of these factors are fixed. Your prostate health, your circulation, your hormones, your sleep, your emotional well-being, and your pelvic strength are all areas where change is not only possible, but powerfully effective. Small adjustments made with awareness and balance can protect your independence and add strength to your later years. You do not need to feel any shame about what is natural, but you do need to recognize when the patterns of your younger years no longer serve you. Many men discovered too late that what once felt harmless carried hidden costs. But you have the chance right now to make choices that keep you in control of your body, your dignity, and your relationships. Whether it is choosing moderation, supporting your sleep, exercising to strengthen your core, or reaching out to restore a connection, each step is a way of reclaiming your health and your quality of life. Longevity is not only about the number of years you live, it is about the quality of the life you experience within those years. Protecting your energy, your rest, and your intimacy means you're not just surviving, but thriving. Thank you for joining me today. I am so glad you've been a part of this important conversation. As you look at your own life, what's one small change you're going to make to protect your health and well-being? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Your wisdom is a gift to us all. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Your support helps us continue creating good content that informs and inspires. We look forward to seeing you again soon.